Come on. Oh, right. Here we go. There we go, Richard. Hello.
Hello. There you go. Hello.
We are live. We are live.
Well, you are. I'm sort of
half dead.
I'm half dead.
That's why I'm coming down to your allotment, and more importantly, I'm drinking all your cider. Talking of cider, we can't start tonight without your intro. So here we go.
When the moon shines on the cowshed and the golden in the hay, all the cows are up there grazing, and the milk is on its way. I am the cider drinker. I drink all the day.
I am the cider drinker.
So go the troubles away.
How do you do,
Paul? Before we went live, Richard, we were talking about Paul getting as a mod.
Yeah, I like Paul as a mod. Paul is actually you owe Paul more than mod shit as an apology for blocking him.
Well, I was going to say if I'd had his email address, I was going to oh no, I'm clicking on the wrong one here. I was going to send him all your vegetables and cider as an apology. You know, when I come down to yours. I'm not sure if he's a cider drinker, but if it's a freebie, beggars can't be choosers, can they?
Oh, he's from up north, isn't he? Where are you from? Which neck of the woods are you, Paul? Hello, Paul. Yes, we are live. Yeah.
Right. I've see. I'm working from a tablet, so I can't double click. I've got the three dots on the right hand side, but when I click on that, all it does is give me the option. Oh, come on. I've got sausage fingers here, just like Charlie. Right. Oh, come on, Officer Double. All right, there we go. Yeah, I've clicked on the three dots and it comes up, star comment, put user in timeout or block user. And I do not want to click on block user.
No, don't push that block user again. I'm not really sure how you do it then. But when I made him, I think, well, you can do it like, we ain't going to get any trolls or all. Anyway, we like trolls. We like trolls. Yeah. Trolls come here to learn, but they just don't like to admit it. Really, and they want to say, "Hey, please, sir, I'm at the back here. I want to be noticed. I haven't got anything intelligent to say, but I want to be noticed."
Talking of being noticed, everybody wants to join our live stream tonight. The link is right at the top of the page. If you've got StreamYard, click on that link and we'll bring you in.
Click on the link and tell me that you love me. Right. So apparently I think there's 4 watching. No, you barred from the blocking button, Rob. You are. He don't care about that.
Paul, I am so sorry, Paul. As you know, it was totally accidental. And I even said at the time, "Oh my God, I've clicked on Paul and then blocked him." And at the time, I didn't know how to get you back on, but it's all sorted now. So
yeah,
all is sweet.
Talking about Rob, seeing as you mentioned accidental, and I had a live stream chat with Malibu, and she's under sort of heavy troll attack at the moment. But she just got a beautiful soul. You can tell it. What did you do to me then? So anyway, I had a really good chat yesterday on a live stream last night, and
right.
I mentioned about V for Vendetta. Have you seen V for Vendetta?
I've got it ready to watch. I haven't
actually got it ready to watch. Watch it.
I've got it ready to watch.
It's a beautiful film, And at the end, like I say, when I first got it, I watched it 3 times on the loop. But I listen. Before we get on to whatever it is we're talking about, it was V for Vendetta, and there's a few really nice. It's very poetic, some of it, and V is very poetic. Okay, and he come up with this one thing. There is no coincidence, only the illusion of coincidence. Okay, this is talking about accidental. So I mean, you can say, oh, it's, you know, it might have been a coincidence that I was there and had an accident at that time. But anyway, there's no such thing as coincidence, only the illusion of coincidence. And Malibu last night come up with this, and I'll tell you what blew my head off. Coincidence is God's way of remaining anonymous. What do you reckon on that? Coincidence is God's way of remaining anonymous. You know, when you get these divine encounters and, you know, something is there and you think, well, I mean, my testimony, my blow my head off testimony was like, no, it wasn't a coincidence. That was a gift. When I was like when I was in the St Mary's Church and they said God saved the Queen, and I said, oh, well, thank God help the homeless, and God saved the poor and meek and the elderly. And then it was actually about a week and a half later, I was in that church, and at the end of it, and this was a Church of England church as well, so they should have said God saved the Queen at the end of that, but no, a week and a half later, the preacher at the end of it said God help the homeless, or God saved the homeless, and that was like, how many preachers have you ever heard say that?
Yeah.
A week and a half after, that's like 10 days, 11 days after, I said in that, because I come out of that St Mary's Church and I denounced C of E. And that was my, you know, and then, but that to me, it ain't a coincidence. That to me was like, Richard, you asked for it. You asked a question. What about God save the homeless? And that was the last thing this figure said, God save the homeless. But this to me, so this to me, if you've had an encounter like that where you got this divine meeting or divine encounter, or you know, there's just something that you think, yeah, that's not coincidence. But this was the thing. Coincidence is God's gift of remaining anonymous. And I thought, wow, that is
Rich, can I just pause you there? We've got Josh wanting to come in live. Shall I bring him in?
Oh, well, why not? He's there.
Yeah. Okay, here we go. I'll bring him in.
Welcome, Josh.
Add to stream.
Josh.
There we go. He should be joining us now.
Man, it doesn't matter if she's 15, my nigga. I like young girls. I like them 15, 14, 16. I like them real young, my nigga. I don't like women in their 20s. All the girls in the 20s, I'm cool with them, girl. I like fucking girls like 15, 14. Yeah. I like fucking young ass females. I ain't
bullshit. Brilliant. I like that. That was great, that.
Well,
it would have been better. Well, it would have been better if we'd have done it to music, because I'd have carried on listening to that.
A rap version.
David Yates. David.
That's the first, isn't it?
Click that link, please.
We've not had that happen before.
See, this is the thing. He didn't make a comment. I was thinking, well, you know, what's he on? What's his stance on life, you know? And then he just said it. Well, at least it saved him having to type it all out. That was cool, that. Play it again, Josh. Bye from Debbie. Or was that Debbie? Debbie, you don't have to show your face or anything. Just come on and say hello. Give your
I meant to tell you this earlier. I forgot to tell you. I text David to say we're going live tonight. Yeah. And unfortunately, he's working tonight. And then I let Debbie know that we were going live, and if she could join us, we'd be more than happy to, you know.
Oh, yeah.
She won't be coming on, I don't think. But she's watching.
No, don't say that. That's giving out negative ways. She will be coming on. She'll come on. She will come on. She can't resist the chat.
Oh, yeah, she's more than welcome.
I just made that up, really. But you know, interaction with people that are all over the world. You know, it's sending out that frequency and vibration of love and truth.
So I'm not laughing at you, Rich. I just
what, like Josh? Yeah, what's on ours?
I can't believe that. You know, when that guy came on, that Josh.
Well, that was his.
We've got somebody who's brave to come on and get him in, you know.
Well,
that
was his 15 seconds of fame.
Yeah. Actually, Debbie's put a comment. I'll put it up on screen now.
Yeah, what an arse, indeed. What an arse. Yeah, I'd stick an hole on that as well. That's an arsehole.
Oh dear.
So,
I'll be laughing about that for a while.
I'm gonna have to rewatch this. You've only got about an hour, Rob, haven't you?
Yeah, about an hour to. Yeah, I've got about an hour now, till about 9:15.
Oh, okay, so
we'll try and squeeze in as much as we can. Shall I start it off about my experience when I was in town?
Yeah, you tell your little story, Rob.
Yeah,
tell your little story.
Well, once upon a time, there was a young man, well, old man actually, called Richard. That's another story. I'll save that for another day.
Yeah. Please don't say.
I was in town. I was about to do some shopping, and you know the Jehovah's Witnesses, they stand outside buildings, places with their carts and their that type of thing. Yeah, that's it. And it's something like, is the Bible really the Word of God, or something like that? So I thought, oh, this might be a good chance to have a little chat, referring to, in specifically, I didn't tell them this initially, but referring to the actual shape of the earth. So anyway, I went up to them and I said, can I just ask you a question? I see there you've got, on your brochure or leaflet, whatever it is, that is the Bible really the God? I said, so I assume that you believe the Bible 100%. And they said, oh yes, we do, definitely. We adhere and stick to the Bible scriptures and principles, 100%. I said, right, okay. Well, can I ask you a question? I said, what do you believe to be the shape of the earth? And they said, oh, it's a sphere. I said, what, like a ball? They said, yeah, like a sphere. So I said, well, did you know that the Bible, it refers to it as the earth as the circle of the earth? And they said, well, yeah, but
you carry on chatting, Rob. I'm just holding up some pictures out of this.
I'm just looking at it myself. Yeah, that shows the globe ball, doesn't it?
Yeah.
The blue marble. Yeah.
And so, the title is Science in the Genesis account. Yeah.
So I said, so the Bible. I said the Bible refers to it as the circle of the earth, not a ball or a sphere.
Yeah.
I said a circle is very different from a sphere. A circle is flat like a plate. A sphere is a ball.
Well, a plate ain't flat.
Pardon?
A plate ain't flat.
Well, you know what I mean. When I say a plate.
Well, I don't know what you mean. I'm a literist, mate.
Stop picking holes, you.
I mean, well, actually, if you've got a meniscus at the side of say a glass, so if we're under a dome and you've got the water going up to the dome, there's two types of meniscus. That I haven't got a glass of water here. There's two types of meniscus as how water interacts with the side of the glass. Okay, now from the glass, it either goes like this, which is a convex meniscus. Water tension is holding it so it's like that. Whereas if you lower the water, the meniscus goes the other way. So the water comes along, goes up the glass. Yeah. Now that's called a concave meniscus. Now I've just interjected here just because it's come into my mind, because you've got a glass of cider there or beer. That's frothy, isn't it? But I mean, I don't know about, I just take literally what the Bible says, really. But unless I see it with my own eyes, I can't say, well, this is how it is. Somebody's saying, oh, what flat earth model do you believe in? And I said, well, I believe the earth is bumpy and water is level, and that's as far as my observation goes, and that's as much as I can actually prove. Yeah. And the barrier between our atmosphere and space, I can't get to it, so I can't. It's no. All I've got to do is rely on somebody else's experience. And the same with the dome. The same with Antarctica. Nobody is allowed out there. But this is a
following
thing
on
about,
what you said about the bumpy bit, yeah. Following on with that,
yeah,
people say, "Well, if the Earth's flat, I'd be able to see to the United States." I said, "Well, no,
Yeah.
because there's mountains in between. There's sea level. The sea level's up and down. There's atmospheric pressures,
yeah,
mist. I said,
mist,
all that
yeah.
distorts the view.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. But on a perfect day, if they got the bubble telescope and stuck it, you know, I don't know, Pembrokeshire in Wales, right on the coast, if they got a bubble telescope on a perfect day when there's no mist, no massive swells or anything like that, they should be able to have a little nose over and see the Twin Towers, shouldn't they? Over in New York,
yeah.
shouldn't they? Oh, sorry. Yeah, they don't exist anymore, do they?
Say they won't see the Twin Towers now.
You know, it's all about
one.
it's all about the vision, isn't it? And vision is
perception.
It's all what do they call it?
Human perception. That's what it's called.
Visual perception. Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Do you want me to say back to what I'm saying about the?
Anyway, you carry on. Sorry about that, mate. But this is what
this is what it's all about, interaction.
Well, you said about a plate is a plate ain't a plate, and this is why I mentioned it. A plate isn't flat. A plate is sort of shaped like that, and that which reminded me.
I want to prove my point there. Just wait a second. I'm going to show you something.
Go on then. If you've got a flat plate, it's not really a plate, is it? It's just like a disc. Oh, Terry Pratchett. Anybody heard of Terry Pratchett?
Stop talking about me. I can hear you.
I said Pratchett.
Right. See that?
Yeah.
Right. That's what I call a flat plate. And what's it got on the outside of it?
Well, it's got a rim, which means it ain't flat, mate.
No, that's the ice wall.
Mate.
That on the outside there, that's the ice wall.
Exactly that, yeah.
So, but look at the centre. What's that? That's
flat-ish.
Yeah, with the ice wall on the outside.
That's a really good example, that, mate, of what I was really on about, and the meniscus, and how if you've got outer space, which let's just say outer space, which is like freezing. So when the water comes in contact with the dome, it freezes and it rises up. It's just an idea, but that is a really good example of what we're living on, I think. It makes logical
sense. People say if the Earth's flat, would fall off the edge. But
here's the thing.
All the seas are held in.
Yeah, hold it, Rob. I thought of this just now, earlier on, when I was flicking through this. Now, how many other planets, like your penis and your anus and your Mars, how many planets have got water on?
Well, allegedly, they say they found water on Mars and found water on the moon.
All right. How many planets have got lakes, seas, and oceans on? Big bodies of water. Yeah. How many planets? None.
Yeah.
Why is that?
Because it's not inhabitable. It's not created for life. It's not a planet.
No, it's because water does not stick to a bowl, so it is all dripped off. It's just run off. We can't be living just because, you know, if you've got, where's me globe? If you've got a bowl, I've
got two.
Let's say you've got Mars and they pour a load of water on it, it'll just drip off the bottom if there is an up and down in space, which I don't, you know, it's illogical really. You have an up and down in outer space. Because up and down is denoted with a horizontal plane, isn't it? And your up and down on this Earth is gravity and anti-gravity, up and down gravity. I'm on the side of flat, as all I see is CGI of the Earth. There's no real images of Earth. Well, that shouldn't really be your evidence for it being a flat Earth. The evidence for it being a flat Earth, you need to be able to prove the Earth is flat, or Earth ain't flat, it's bumpy, or that water is level. So if they say you can only see 5 miles with your vision, But then you zoom in, you know this, Rob. This is a thing that switched me onto it. That was the proof I needed. Was that boats don't disappear over the horizon? You can get a boat 10 miles out. Well, you shouldn't really be able to see it because it would have disappeared. And that to me was boats coming back in. That's proof. The fact that all NASA images of the Earth are bullshit ain't proof. It's proof that they're bullshitting. But when it comes to having proof, you need to have proof of something, not debunking something else. You know, that's the way I look at it. But there is proof, there is evidence out there, and it's all down to their mathematics when it comes to evaluating the curve of the Earth over like a given distance, 8 inches per mile squared. Yeah. You know, and
if they based it on what you've just said, it would be impossible to see the things over the curve. But
100%.
when you use the concept, it brings it back in, like you said.
100%. And here's the thing: when they disappear over the horizon, if something going away from you over a curve, it's going to be tilting backwards like that as it goes over, isn't it?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? They don't do that. They just go out straight. They just go out straight. There's no, you know, if you've got a masted yacht or something, that should disappear as it goes over, perpendicular to the well, it ain't flat, is it? It's according to them, but perpendicular to the flat. If I was, let's say I went over, how am I going to do this? If this went over there, it would go like that. Or if it went over a curve, it would go, God, I look
the other way.
It would go like that. So the mass you'd see that. Yeah. And that is not seen. But the evidence is you need proof, not to debunk one idea. It ain't proof. But if water ain't sticking to Mars, it's probably because water doesn't stick to a ball. And they've tried it, you know. Oh, let's try putting water on Mars. Now it just runs off.
It's impossible to have curved water. It's impossible. Water will always find its level.
It will.
However, what it's in or where it is, it will always find its level.
And that is science.
And
that is science.
Yeah, and this is the point I made to them Jehovah's Witnesses. I said, I believe the Bible. I said, I don't believe. I said, well, I do believe in science, but only when it's proven. And I said, and it's proven when they can conduct several experiments, and the result is always the same. That's when it's proven.
Yeah.
So I said, like I say, being the circle very different from the sphere. I then said about Isaiah 40, book of Isaiah 40, verse 22, which says, he sits enthroned, which is obviously God, above the circle of the earth.
Yeah.
And its people are like grasshoppers.
Yeah.
So,
well, a circle is a circle is a two-dimensional shape.
Exactly. It's not three-dimensional. Like a sphere.
Height and width, or height and length, whichever way you look at it. Yeah. Now, a sphere is a three-dimensional shape. It's got height, it's got width, and it's got depth. That's your three, and that's fundamental. You know, any builder knows that. And you know, what is a builder? Just a dumb guy that sticks a bit of stone on the top of another stone. Yeah. But a circle. A circle is a two-dimensional shape. It's flat. You do a circle with a compass. Yeah. Sandra, 100% flat. Hello, Earth, horizon from horizontal. Yeah. Oh, Terry Pratchett, Discworld. Yeah. Now I actually met Terry Pratchett. I worked on his house. I built a fireplace for him, and he had a massive house, and he had an observatory, one of those domed observatories in his garden. So he was you know, he was like whatever they call it, like he studied the stars and things. But Discworld, I've got one of his books. I might even have it here actually. Discworld, it might be upstairs. But I actually met him. I got him to sign because I'd never heard of him. And when I had my workshop, I had his name written down on my desk. Okay, I had this note, Terry Pratchett. I had his address on it, his phone number, call him up, blah blah blah, to do this fireplace for him, this massive, great fireplace. And so anyway, I turned up, I was given all the plans. This was done through an architect. I didn't go to Terry and say, "Oh, what do you want?" No, I was given the job through an architect. So when I turned up on Terry Pratchett's house in, I think it's like Broad Chalk. He's dead now, but in Broad Chalk near Salisbury, beautiful, massive house. So I turned up and there's this little wizened old man with a bigger beard than mine, little green wellies, probably about that tall. Little slim guy, and I walked on and I said, "Oh, I'm looking for Terry Pratchett." I thought this guy was the gardener, and it was Terry Pratchett. So I met Terry Pratchett. I thought he was the gardener. Yeah, I had this note on my desk in my workshop, and I got my mate Ian. Used to do sheet metal roofing, lead, copper, beautiful stuff, copper to work with, traditional stuff. Like traditional roofing, you know when you see green roofs on like churches and old buildings, that's actually copper. It's oxidized.
Yeah.
So you know it's not painted or anything. That is copper, and over like 200 years, 300 years, it'll go that beautiful like emerald green. That is copper. And so anyway, my friend Ian had said, Ian Cox, I got a feeling he's dead. I haven't seen him for years, but I used to do a lot of work for him and with him, and he said, "Oh, Terry Pratchett." He said, "Who's that then?" I said, "Oh, I don't know." I said, "I never heard of him." He said, "Oh, now my mate had been in prison, and his wife used to take him in Terry Pratchett books to read, and so he was like an avid fan of Terry Pratchett." And he said, "Oh, do you reckon you can get him to sign a book for me?" So I said, "Oh, I'll have a go." So anyway, I took a book along, and he signed it for him to Ian, whatever he said. Lots of love, Terry Pratchett. But that was Terry Pratchett and Discworld. You know, so I wouldn't. This was back in, I don't know. This would have been back in like 2006, 7, something like that, maybe. Maybe a little bit before, maybe a little bit after. Probably a little bit before, if anything. Probably not after. And yeah, but I wasn't. You know, I wasn't aware of even 9/11. I wasn't aware of that bullshit. Flat Earth, no, I wasn't aware of that. Chemtrails didn't seem to be a thing back then.
Yeah.
All the bullshit.
It's all coming out now. It's all coming to light. You see, the Bible says that God will leave nothing hidden. It's all going to be revealed. Yeah. All these things have to be revealed. The truth needs to come out. And going back to the, you know, what I said about the Jehovah's Witnesses, when I said about the ball and the sphere and the circle being two different words. I then went on about Isaiah is a fantastic book, Richard. If you haven't read Isaiah, it's a fantastic book. Because there's another verse in Isaiah 66, verse 1, which says, "Thus saith the Lord, the heaven is my throne, and the earth is my footstool." Ever seen a footstool shaped like a ball? Because I haven't.
No. I've seen a
footstool. What is a flat stool? What's a footstool? It's always flat, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've seen a footstool shaped like half a ball.
Well, yeah.
You know.
But generally, footstools are flat, aren't they?
Yeah.
9 times out of 10.
Well, probably not. Yeah, 9 times out of 10. But this is the thing. It rolls around, doesn't it? That's the problem with having a footstool. Is it rolls around?
But this excuse me. This was the point about I was making to the JWs about the ball and circle. They're confusing the ball and circle meaning the same thing. And I said they're two totally different words in Hebrew and Greek, which means that the Bible writers knew the difference between a ball and between a circle. And they used two different words for each one.
Okay.
And that is in Isaiah 20, and again Isaiah 22 verse 18, where it uses the word ball, and the translation is very different from the word circle, which is used in Isaiah 40:22, which was said referring to the circle of the earth. Two different words. That's the important thing. Two totally different words. So people say, well, yeah, he meant a ball, but it doesn't, because ball and circle are quoted in the Bible as two different things, and they both have different Hebrew and Greek meanings. So the Bible writers knew the difference. So what they would have said in Isaiah, if the earth was a sphere, they would have said, he sits enthroned above the ball of the Earth, but they said specifically the circle of the Earth. And like you said earlier, a circle is 2-dimensional and a ball is 3-dimensional.
322, skull and bones. Yeah. And you know,
after that, they said, well, we went on to say, well, I've seen the Earth on the TV at NASA. I said, NASA? I didn't say NASA's, which I wanted to say to them. I said, NASA. I said, this isn't coming from me. I said, I'm not saying this. You Google, put in pictures of Earth from space. And I said, you won't find one. I said, you'll see lots of CGI. I said, you'll see lots of CGI.
Yes, yeah.
I said, but there is not one photo. I said, why is that? Why can they not show one photo? They've got the Hubble telescope out there. They could quite easily turn that round, take photographs of Earth, but they don't. That should tell you something in itself.
Assholes. Oh, absolutely, yeah. That doesn't prove flat Earth. That just proves that NASA are lying.
It proves they're hiding something. It proves they're hiding
something. Chuck, come on in. Come on in for a quick chat, Chuck. We're only here for about an hour. Well, probably 3/4 of an hour now. Assholes. Acternauts. Don't ever say sorry, Prepper. Don't ever say sorry. I had a discussion about the word sorry. It doesn't mean anything. And in fact, actually, I introduced something called, a few years ago, something called the sorry tax. And this is what I say: if you got like an husband smashes his wife one day, I'm all sorry, darling, and the next day he does it again. Well, what was the meaning of sorry then? No, it's an empty. It's an empty word. Sorry. I do apologise for being late. I won't do it again. I'll do my endeavour to be on time. You don't have to apologise. Sorry is all that you can say.
Just slow Prepper, just to let you know, it's not actually David because he's working tonight. It's Debbie who's listening in to the conversation. It's not actually David. He's working tonight.
Yeah.
So anyway, going back to what I was saying, after all this discussion, which lasted about 20 minutes, I said, do me a favor. I said, because I were like you. I believed everything I got told. I said, my awakening time was 9/11. That's when I started asking questions. And that led onto one thing and another thing. I said, don't try and swamp your brain with all the theories and what's out there. I said, just concentrate on one thing. Just concentrate on the Earth and ask yourself. They said, well, and their question to me, and I'm glad they asked me, they said, well, why would they lie? Why would they lie about the shape of the Earth? I said, for one reason. And the big reason is to hide the Earth from God.
Lies hide truth.
Put God in the background and promote science and evolution. That's why they did it. That's the Big Bang Theory. If you believe in the Big Bang Theory, everything came from an explosion and it all makes sense.
Everything comes from nothing. Nobody can explain that. And I watched, have you heard of, oh gosh. Oh, it'll come to me, forget it. What was the name of that Isaiah? What was the number of that Isaiah you quoted?
What about the circle of the Earth?
Yeah, Isaiah what?
That the circle where it refers to the circle of the Earth was Isaiah 40 verse 22.
Verse 40.
No, chapter 40 verse 22.
Chapter 40.
Yeah, verse 22.
Yeah, I'm trying to get that up here.
When you get that, I'm just going to disappear to. I need Jimmy Riddle. So while you get that up.
Yeah, I've got control over the 22. Blah blah. Right, if I if I do my screen share, can I screen my share my screen? I'm just playing around here. Where's Rob gone? Oh, that's me, isn't it? Hi y'all, listening while making my supper. Cool, interesting content. You're on the fire. Yeah, it is. I mean, it's fundamental stuff, you know. And I'll just get that out of the way a minute, Mo. Welcome again, because I'm gonna. I just want to show this Isaiah 22. He said, didn't he?
Yeah, chapter 40, verse 22.
Yeah. It is he that sitteth upon the circle of the earth, and the inhabitants thereof are as grasshoppers, that stretcheth out the heavens as a curtain, and spreadeth them out as a tent to dwell in.
Now, I believe that curtain refers to the firmament.
Yeah, well, you know, yeah. But the circle is there, in black and white, and the circle is not here.
And the point is, the two words have two totally different meanings in Hebrew and Greek. So they knew what a ball was, and they knew what a circle was. But they referred to the earth as the circle of the earth. If it had been a globe, then they would have used the word ball.
Or sphere.
Or sphere, yeah.
I mean, sphere is the architectural term for a bowl. Sphere, you know. I mean, if you're in an architect's office, you're not going to say, "Oh, I'm going to draw a bowl." The architectural term, the geometrical term for a bowl is a sphere, I think.
Yeah.
A sphere.
But you see, I don't blame anybody for believing it, because what's the first thing you see? I remember when I had my first geography lesson, what do you see? You see a globe presented in front of you. Yeah. And you get taught, this is where we live. We live on this ball.
Yeah.
And it's indoctrination from early age, from 5 years old, indoctrinated into people. I can remember, Richard, saying to my mum and dad, well, I think it was my dad actually, I asked him a question. So even back then, you're waving to me?
No, I was waving to Annette with her tomato soup.
Right, okay.
Is that making tomato soup from oh, well done, tomatoes. Yeah. Yeah. There's so much you can do, Rob. Next year you've got to grow tomatoes, mate. Even if you just have one.
I've grown them for a couple of years. I didn't do any this year.
Yeah, do it next year.
We had scaffolding. We had scaffolding outside, and all the sun were blocked and everything, so I couldn't do it.
Okay, that's an excuse, mate. That's an inexcusable excuse.
Yeah. Lone Prepper says if Rob's wake-up point was 9/11, what was everyone else's? Well, unfortunately, a lot of people didn't wake up, did they?
Yeah. Mine was knowing that paedophiles were in Parliament and you know, in the social care system. That opened my eyes to the fact that something's not right with the world. And you know, things like when Thatcher came in, Thatcherism, you know, the whole shebang that she did, like, you know, attacking the miners with the police. And it wasn't just, you know, going up there, you know, saying, "Oh, please get away." No, they were beating them up. That opened my eyes to the fact that now the world ain't, that this country is wrong. And in 91, when I got married, in 89, when I got married, I actually not eloped. What's the word? Emigrated.
Anteloped.
I emigrated from this country because I had enough of it.
No, you antelope because you said yes, dear. Sorry.
Hello, Christopher. Oh, don't feel bad. I was late as well. Yeah. So the shape of the earth. There's evidence, proof, scientific proof that you know what they say. The distance they say that you can see before something disappears over the horizon is wrong. So if you know, it's as simple as that. Unless the globe Earth is way bigger than they say. It's got to be about 1,000 times bigger, at least. Yeah. So that curve is almost sort of flat. But this is the thing: water does not stick to a bowl. Gravity. Geronism. Have you heard of a channel called Geronism, Rob? And anybody in the
I
chat?
certainly have. I've watched a lot of his videos.
Yeah, he's spot on, mate. And he did. They had one ball earther on, and it was against him, Dirk. Is it Dirk and the two other guys? I can't remember their names, but they invited this ball earther on to debunk flat Earth or prove. Well, it's not about debunking something; it's about proving. Debunking something doesn't make your idea fact, does it? You need to prove something.
That's right.
With this guy, they had this guy in knots. Really, honestly, it was funny to watch. But you know, it's just commonsensical. But there was this idea that it was about some sort of electromagnetism that is to do with gravity. That you got like it's like energy. It's like electrical energy. Why things where up and down comes. Now, up and down is, you know, down is down towards the earth. And, you know, people just, without understanding what gravity means, they just say, oh, it's gravity. But this is a thing. If you're in basically comes down to density, doesn't it?
Well, gravity is a theory. It's never been, gravity has never been proven.
Yeah. Well,
it's only a theory.
Yeah. But this is the thing. It's, you know, everything is based on density. And here's the thing about gravity. Then the moon is meant. The gravity of the moon is meant to be able to affect our oceans. Okay, our waters. Yeah. Now the relative density. The relative density. Eh?
I just said it's all bollocks.
Well, you just saved me about. You just saved me about 5 minutes of explaining it. Right. The relative density of water is 1, okay? Which means a cubic meter of water, a meter by a meter by a meter of water weighs 1 ton. Now, the relative density of, say, Portland stone is 2.2. That means a cubic meter of Portland stone weighs 2.2 ton. Okay, the relative density of I don't know, styrofoam is going to be a lot lighter than 1 because it floats on water. Okay, and if you put a block of stone in the water, it sinks. So the relative density.
That's why a boat floats. It's all about density, like you say.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah.
And how can a butterfly fly against that force of gravity? Well, all it does is it reduces its relative density by putting wind underneath the wings, if that's how they work, or birds, which makes them lighter, so the relative density is less, which is how they go up. The thing about the moon apparently can affect our tides. Okay, so it's the gravity of the moon is so strong it can lift water up.
I don't wear tights, Richard.
Hey?
I don't wear tights. The moon doesn't affect my tights.
Tides. I keep trying to think of a joke that introduce stockings, but
what do you think? What do you think about this, Rich? I'm going to bring it up because
let me finish.
I've heard this before.
Let me finish my moon thing.
Yeah.
So if the moon can suck the water up, okay.
Yeah.
Why doesn't the gravity of Earth? I think it's about 6 times bigger, isn't it? Which means it should have 6 times more, roughly. I don't know how they worked it out. 6 times more gravity. Why doesn't that suck the moon in? Why doesn't it suck the moon in? And I come across something and they said, oh, the moon is 1 centimeter closer to Earth than it was 10 years ago or something. And fuck me, a centimeter is like that.
Yeah.
How on earth, over 250,000 miles, are they going to be able to gauge like a centimeter? And why are they saying the moon's getting closer to us? Maybe they were slightly off with their laser beam pinpointing refraction, whatever it is, however they do. It's all bullshit. But why isn't the moon sucked down by Earth's gravity? If the moon's gravity, which is 1/6 of that of the Earth, I'm guessing, can actually suck up something that has a relative density of 1? Why isn't the Earth just sucked in?
Yeah, it's a good point. Exactly.
It's a
very
fantastic
good point. Yeah.
Somebody
You
answer
should,
it.
you should be a scientist, Rich.
Scientist. I am a scientist. We did that. tinfoil hat experiment, didn't we? So we prove it. We were always scientists. You know, if you decide to make beans on toast, but put a bit of cinnamon in with your beans, that's an experiment to see what goes from that. It's science.
Garlic and beans. It's a great combination.
I like actually onion and beans, fried onion and beans, and baked beans on toast. It's nice. But what was the question?
Well, just before we go to that question, when I was a kid, I was going to say this. I must have only been about 8 or 9 years old when I asked this question, because I got told in school that the Earth is spinning at about 1,000 miles an hour or something like that.
Yeah.
I said, well, why don't I feel dizzy or giddy? Oh, well, and the answer I got, bless them, this is all they knew, this is all they could say, was, well, the Earth is spinning so fast that we don't feel it. I thought, well, that's not a really good answer, but I accepted it every time. How can something be spinning so fast that you don't feel it? If you get on a roundabout and spin that roundabout, you come off going, ooh, like you've had a few beers. You know what I mean?
How'd you go?
Ooh.
That reminded me of a scene from The Mask when Jim Carrey.
Listen, you put a glass of water on the table. Is there any rippling? Is there any movement in the liquid? No, it's stationary. Yeah. If we were spinning, that'd be rippling, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
My beer would be rippling.
You got centrifugal force. 1,000 miles an hour is quick, even though they say it's going really slow because you got, it takes 24 hours for the Earth to revolve. 1,000 miles is still 1,000 miles an hour.
Yeah.
And remember, who's that?
The only thing that I'm a bit on with flat Earth is, well, I was born in Melbourne and Australia doesn't exist. Where do I stand on that? Some people are saying Australia doesn't exist.
Does it? Who says that?
Well, this is a comment from Sandra. Maybe we can get some more feedback from Sandra on it. But I have heard
hello, Sandra.
People have said that Australia doesn't actually exist. So I'm a bit curious myself about this.
Yeah, I've never heard of that.
So we'll get another comment back from Sandra.
Well, my brother took his family, his wife and children, over to Australia. In fact, actually, they went over to Australia just before the old illness a couple of years ago, and they came back a week before they locked the country down. So they were quite lucky. Otherwise, they'd have been locked out there for all that shit that everybody had to go for over there in Australia. But he flew out there, so maybe, I don't know, if he did go there, and he came back from it. But that week, they actually left a week before they locked the country down. So he was pretty lucky, really.
Yeah. Hi, Nolan Backwoods Gal. Nice to see you join us.
Backwoods Gal. Anybody want to come on for a chat? Sandra, you can, if you want to come on and just say hello and explain it, because I haven't heard of that before, Australia not existing. Maybe you're talking about the future when the Chinese come over and something else. Do you guys watch any of Mike Morales' YouTube channel on his Above Ground World News channel? He puts out lots of information on how they control the weather. Weather is a force multiplier, owning the weather in 2025. I've heard of Mike Morales, and I might have followed him a long time ago, but the weather it's not difficult to control the weather if you know that every weather is pretty much basically about controlling air pressure, isn't it? Temperature and air pressure. And if you can, it's not difficult if you've got the technology to alter air pressure. You know, all you've got to do is expand air pressure, and it gets colder, and condense it, and it gets warmer, or vice versa. So you create pockets of, you know, so you know, you look on the bars of like a weather map. Oh, low pressure here, which means crap weather. High pressure here, which means good weather. So it's all about air pressure, and it's not difficult for those that can do it. You know, it's like creating a vacuum. It's just all about it's all about controlling the pressure, isn't it? You know,
Christopher Livins or Livins has made a good point, and I agree with him on this. He says the moon is some kind of reflection of the Earth, and it is. If you look closely, you can see the Earth's continents in the shadowing, and you can.
Now,
I put a video up, Rich, a few months back. I put a video up on my channel, and if anybody wants to scroll back and find it, it was from 1963. There was a scientist which said that the Earth, not the Earth, the moon is not something you can land on. He believed it to be a plasma.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Obviously, scientists and NASA, they're telling us it's a rock. It's something that we can physically land on. But this scientist back in 1963 said that he believed that the moon was a plasma, a light source, and impossible to land on, and we will never be able to go to the moon. And that was back in '63. And interestingly enough, the president, which was JFK at the time, said within the decade we will land on the moon. But the Bible, look to the Bible again for the answer. The Bible says about the sun being the light for the day and the moon being the light for the evening, the darkness. A lesser light. Referred to the moon as a lesser light.
Yeah.
It's not something physical that you can land on.
Yeah, I'm trying to find. I'm on Bible Gateway, Genesis. That's a Genesis, isn't it? Blah blah blah.
Well,
if I can bring it up.
Anybody wants to scroll back, go back. You'll see it. A scientist from 1963. It was a black and white broadcast, and he said quite clearly that nobody will ever be able to land on the moon because he believes the moon to be a light source only, a plasma.
All right, I'll share this a minute. This is Genesis 1:14. I'm flitting around here a bit, Rob, but
no, it's all right.
That's all right. I'll share my screen and I'll bring up the Genesis of it. Bear with me. Okay. Genesis 1:14. And God said, let there be lights in the firmament of the heaven to divide the day from the night, and let them be for signs and for seasons and for days and for years. And then be for lights in the firmament of heaven to give light upon the earth. And it was so. And God made two great lights, the greater light to rule the day, and the lesser light to rule the night. And he made the stars also. He doesn't actually call it the moon, though, does he?
Yeah, but we know the lesser light is the moon.
Yeah, no, we don't call it the moon. He doesn't call it the moon. We call it the moon.
Yeah, but he referred to it as the lesser light.
Yeah, to rule the night. Yeah, which is the moon.
Yeah,
as we know it.
Yeah.
I mean, we could go around saying, calling it the lesser light. Oh, look, there's a lesser light out there. The moon is. Oh, look! Oh, it's, the greater light rise. High,
look at
greater.
that block of trees up there. Let's get some of that.
So again.
Let's get some of that lovely cheese from up there. Look in the sky.
Cheese, yeah. But I mean, the word moon is that named after a god? One of these fake gods?
I wouldn't be surprised.
Moon. I mean, you know the mission Apollo. You know.
Well, that's based on a god. Yeah, that's based on gods.
Yeah, lesser gods. Yeah, Apollyon. You know, but the whole shebang is just reeks when you know what you're looking at. It just reeks of Freemasonry, Satanism, lesser god worship. I don't even call them lesser gods. You know, these these idols worship. Greater light and the lesser light is what God said. Yeah. And rather than saying the lesser light, the lesser light. That's 4 syllables. You know, to save a bit of time, we'll call it the moon and the sun and the stars. He made the stars also. Well, it calls them stars.
Yeah, stars. Yeah.
And then, so what you've got is
you get a powerful telescope, and you look at the stars. You see the.
I've seen that close. Yeah, I've zoomed in on them, and they are
the planets. And then you look through a proper telescope. They're very different.
It is like plasma. It's like
yeah. It's waving. It's waving.
And I've done that with my own camera. I've done that with my own camera.
Yeah.
But this is the thing, stars, they call them stars. But if you go to Hollywood or the music industry, you've got pop stars, you've got movie stars, you've got the stars on the Walk of Fame, is it, in Hollywood or Las Vegas or wherever it is? The Walk of Stars or something.
That's in Hollywood. Las Vegas, not Las Vegas, California.
Sunset Boulevard, is it, or something like that?
It's in Hollywood.
Hollywood, yeah.
All them on the pavements.
That's it.
Yeah,
you know,
so Hollywood, Los Angeles.
It's LA, is it?
Yeah, LA.
You know, and the 5-pointed star. The star is a circle.
Yeah.
As far as I can see, with my odd eyes. Buzz done that interview with an 8-year-old girl, and she asked him if he will ever go back to the moon, and he said no because we never went there in the first place. It's on. Yeah, I've seen that.
I've seen that as well. Yeah. Yeah. Can you imagine when people do actually, and I believe the truth will come out eventually, when they realise that it was all a hoax, how people are going to react to that?
Can I imagine it? I don't. It's difficult to imagine because I don't think the truth will come out, Rob.
Oh, I do.
I reckon God
has to be revealed. The Bible says that, and when it conflicts with God's teaching, it will be revealed. Believe me, it will be revealed. Maybe in the last days, the very last days, but it will all come out at the end times. It will come out. I believe that.
There's going to be a lot of angry people, and there's going to be a lot of people.
Exactly. Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
And there's going to be a lot of people.
WTF, big style.
There's going to be a lot of YouTube channels disappearing because of embarrassment.
Yeah.
All these. I'm on another channel, but I want to see if I can find that. I don't know whether I mentioned it, but it was. There's in the UK, in Britain. I don't know where it's still going. There's a guy called Graham Norton. He's one of the sodomists, and he's got like this. He's a sodomator. Well, yeah, exactly that. But he did on his show, and he's popular, on the television. His shows, and he had Hillary Clinton and the other one. What's her daughter? What's Hillary Clinton's daughter called? Penny, is it?
I have no idea. No idea.
Hillary and something Clinton. She was on the show. They were on the show. But they also had this comedian called David Mitchell. Now he's pretty well known among those that follow comedians like Bob Mortimer and just these sort of modern comedians, really, as being a bit of a ranter and a bit of an intelligent guy. And I'm trying to find it. I'm looking for another tab. But he did this interview. He was on this interview, and I'll see if I can get out to play it, rather than me explaining it about him. His evidence. Hopefully I can find it. you carry on talking about. But anyway,
yeah, while you're looking for that, Richard, I'm going to comment on Northern Backwoods Gal's comment, which says Genesis 16 verse 8 talks about the firmament. So how do they get out into space? Exactly. You look at the space shuttle launches. It doesn't go straight up. It goes like that.
Yeah, into the Bermuda Triangle.
Exactly.
You saw that show. I'm going to get up again, Pepper. On another thing, just to show it, but it's probably about a 2-minute clip of him on this highly viewed television show, Graham Norton show. Used to be like prime time Saturday, didn't it, and things like that.
Yeah.
Him with his proof that the Earth is a globe, and it's quite well, anyway. So I thought, oh gosh, there was only about 1 or 2 people that were saying, oh, what a load of bullshit. But everybody else was like, oh yeah, it's a spinning globe. Oh, David Mitchell, he's brilliant. He's so funny. Because so anyway, I made a few comments about, oh well, when when all else fails, bring on the comedian, okay, to try and convince the world. And it worked with most of them. So I thought, oh fuck that, I'm going to get involved in this. I'm not going into long debates with people. There's no point really. I just keep my answers really quick. I don't care really whether people believe the ball Earth over there. I got more. There's more important things to concentrate on in this world. And even though it is important that people know the truth, that from where I see it, what they're trying to do is promote the Big Bang Theory and take away from the creation theory, which is God.
And that's the point I made to the JWs. I said, when they questioned me and said, why would they lie? That's the exact reason why they would lie.
Yeah. Yeah.
And Lone Trapper's comment there, didn't Stanley Kubrick film the moon landing? I believe he did. I believe he definitely had a big hand in that.
A big hand.
And Christopher Livens, he agrees with that as well.
Yeah. Yeah. But I mean, at the time, the way they excuse it away is because it was like a power thing between America and Russia, wasn't it? So they sort of faked it before they assumed that they would land on the moon, because they thought at some point they would land on the moon. But it was a propaganda thing just to get one up on the Russians. That's what I've heard. That makes sense.
Yeah.
For them faking it, but to carry on for 40, 50 years, 60 years with the same bullshit.
Well, I believe one of the main reasons why they haven't gone back to the moon, is because now with the technology we have and the camera facilities we have and technology, it would be proven that they're actually not filming what they're filming. Back in 69, wasn't it, when they allegedly landed on the moon?
Apparently, yeah.
We didn't have the technology then that we have now. People would know that it's not right. And that's why they haven't done it, because the technology's too good.
Yeah.
And Christopher Livens has also said they're sending rockets to try and crack the firmament. There was an experiment they did, Operation Fishbowl, I think they called it, when they sent rockets up to try and crack through the firmament, break the firmament.
Yeah.
So, Christopher, you're dead right on that one.
Yeah. Yeah.
But we know that, it's...
it makes more sense, Rob, doesn't it?
And I think I've put this on one of my earlier YouTube videos. He said, I would go back to the moon in a nanosecond, but we've lost that technology and we can't get it back.
Yeah.
69 technology and they can't get it back.
Yeah. Well, you wouldn't lose it anyway, would you? You'd look after it.
Yeah, of course you would.
It's like if you've got a Model T Ford from whenever they were made, and if you've got a car from the 1930s, you look after it if you've got any sense.
Yeah.
Or you've got a car from the 1960s, you look after it.
Yeah.
And the technology, you don't think technology.
This is why, Richard, if people just did a little bit of research and opened their eyes a bit more, why can't they see it? Why is it just a few of us that can actually see what's going on? Why can't the majority, even though they're brainwashed now? I mean, I believe I was brainwashed because I was brought up as a kid to believe the earth's a ball, and and I believed it. I went with science, but something in my brain said something doesn't add up here, especially when 9/11 happened. I thought, and that's when I started delving a bit deeper. Why don't other people feel the same way as me and you? Why?
Well, A, people wake up at different times, Rob. B, people have been dumbed down through toxification, like your fluoride. Can you still hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm having.
Yeah, you're still on.
And sort of frozen. People have been dumbed down with fluoride, with medications. It's all designed. Everything's designed. Well, not everything. And the biggest thing is the television. The biggest weapon they've got is television. You know.
Tell live vision.
Yeah.
Tell live vision.
That's
yeah.
And this when they recently they launched a fridge, didn't they, to try and deflect an asteroid? You know that?
Yeah.
Now, I've got a theory about it. Now, I don't know whether the alien invasion theory is something to throw people off. Just introduce something that divides our attention again away from something more important happening. But if at some point they're going to come, the world is going to be saved. Okay, biblically, the Antichrist is going to come, save the world. Boom, that's it. Yeah. And everybody say, "Oh, wow, it is." Yeah. Now, there is nobody on earth that I would look at and say, I would listen to you and I would respect you. There's nobody. I mean. So it'd have to come from somebody that nobody knows about. It's not the Dalai Lama or anybody like that. It's not the Pope. It's not Barack Obama, because not everybody, I'll use the word, is fallen in love with these people, which is what you would do, what you do with Jesus Christ. You think, gosh, wow, why aren't you my dad? But you know what I mean. I'm not being blasphemous or anything like that. I say, wow, that's the sort of person you fall in love with. It's not from a sexual aspect. It's from a character aspect. You think, wow, people fall in love with dogs and I do with my dog, just because of the beauty of the character of that dog, But as far as human beings go, that was somebody that everybody is going to fall in love with and take as the Messiah. There's nobody on earth that is going to be good enough for that. But anyway, so this is you remember they tried to send the Artemis up, that Artemis rocket, to land on the moon. That was one to land on the moon, and then they had a leak or something in this multi-trillion-pound fucking bean tin. They had a leak in it. Okay, so they postponed it. Oh, we'll do it next Saturday, and then they postponed it again. So this is what they actually did, was they brought to the forefront, because probably every television news channel was saying, oh, Artemis is going up to the moon again, because it's a big step, isn't it, going back to the moon? So they brought NASA back into the forefront of everybody's consciousness. And then all of a sudden, I've never heard of this before, this washing machine that they sent up to hit this asteroid, okay? Now, my theory about Artemis was they're going to send this Artemis up to land on the moon, and it's going to upset somebody. They're going to discover aliens on the dark side of the moon or something. And that would introduce the concept of UFOs, UAPs, unidentified aerial phenomena, and aliens. So they could then prime the world for an alien invasion. But that didn't happen. But what Artemis did was brought NASA to the forefront. And all of a sudden, out of nowhere, popped this washing machine in an asteroid, and that was laughable. That. So, but what are the chances of somewhere along the lines that that asteroid gets deflected into a planet, an alien planet, and does some destruction to an alien planet, and then that highlights, that sort of opens up the door for some sort of alien intervention, not necessarily an alien attack. Because what we need, because what we need now, the biggest threat that they put out there is the world war now between Russia and the rest of the world, Russia, China, and the rest of the world, with nuclear threats. Okay, nobody on Earth is going to put a stop to that. That'll play itself out. They won't stop that. They'll keep playing that until they've achieved another goal. Yeah, it's sort of like you know, it's like people, it's like a gateway to something else. It's like people saying, "Oh, cannabis is a gateway to heroin, gateway drug to heroin." You know, so this war is a gateway to the savior of humanity, because if this war does go ahead and there really are nuclear weapons and they do start firing them off, that would pretty much destroy the world. And that will be the end of it. So that is the final nail there. So I got a feeling that Agenda 23 might well introduce the savior. They got the heifers all sorted out now in Jerusalem, haven't they? The 10 heifers, 10 red heifers that are, I think it's in about a year's time. They're going to be I think it's a year and a day old. And then they can be sacrificed, and they spread the ashes, don't they, on the sake to cleanse the ground, to purify the ground where they're going to build a temple. And slingers, I'm not in-depthly knowledgeable about that, but it's what I gleaned off of a video by Sling and Stone channel. It just come up on my feed about the red heifers. I think they had about 7 of the 10 red heifers they need. So next year they're going to be consecrating that ground and, you know, getting ready for the temple, and how that fits in with scripture, I don't know. You know, Rob. So this is where you'll say, "Oh, it means this and this and this, and this will happen then. When they do this, this happens." And you know, this is why it's great to be with somebody that is far more knowledgeable on the Bible than me. And like I mentioned to you before we come on live, is, you know, one of my regrets, I don't regret much. One thing I would wish, if I had my life over again, I would start reading the Bible as soon as I could read.
I would encourage anybody. I mean, there's a lot of people out there that don't even know what a Bible is.
Yeah.
And a lot of people nowadays, because of the lifestyle they lead and the media, they don't want to look to the Bible. They'll turn on that little box in the corner, sit there, and be brainwashed all night by what they're seeing on that screen.
Yeah.
And they don't do their own research. It's so important. You know, if you've anybody out there who's on the fence, who's thinking, right, does this make sense? Ask yourself. Just ask yourself, why are they saying this? What's the reason for it? Will they be lying to me for whatever reason? If you start asking questions yourself, that's when you start opening doorways.
That's it.
And you have to delve a little bit deeper.
Yeah.
It's not something you can just switch on and think, oh yeah, that all makes sense. It has to happen over a period of time, and there's usually one thing which actually, you know, gets somebody motivated enough to actually do that. And for me, it was 9/11 back in 2001. That's when I started doing my own research. Up until 2001, Rich, I was like everybody else. I went with the flow.
Yeah.
And then when I opened that first Pandora's box, all the other Pandora boxes started opening. And I thought, my God, what is happening here? Yeah. You know, and that's what we encourage everybody to do. Don't believe what I say. Don't believe what you say. Look into it for yourself. Do your own research.
Yeah, absolutely. It's, you know, it's sort of like a gateway, isn't it? If somebody's what mainstream television doesn't encourage is do your own research. It doesn't, because everything's entertainment. Most things are entertainment, which you don't question entertainment. You don't think, oh, people don't question it. They just sit down to be entertained. And even like things like documentaries, people don't question David Attenborough.
Yeah. Well, David Attenborough is a great evolutionist.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
He promotes evolution every time, how things have evolved. They use the term evolved. You know, they can't say, well, this was, you know, creatures, animals, everything adapts to the circumstances. It's not an evolving. They don't evolve. They're adapting.
And that's what they say. That's what they say in this little book, Rob. In this little book. It might be you might be able to read this on the Jehovah'sWitness.org thing.
Yeah.
But it's quite interesting. I did read what I thought was, you know, I'm not. I read I read they are not evolutionists. They believe, well, I mean, fundamentally, it's all about adaptation. It's all about adaptation, that you adapt to your environment. You don't evolve, because evolving takes, you know, and even just saying we were pond slime, or we were nothing, and then we've been created into this, or we've evolved into this. Well, no, I'm not into this, you know, this thing that can think, can see, can speak, and scratch their heads. You know, it's, you know, there's no accident. It's not an accident. Can't be an accident. You know, it's like throwing. You know, it's like getting 20 pots of paint, throwing them on a canvas, and ending up with the Mona Lisa. It don't work like that.
No. Well, I've always said that. I'm glad you brought that up, Rich, because that's brought that thing back to my mind about evolutionists. To me, you can compare evolution with a watchmaker. You get all the parts of a watch in your hand, throw them up in the air, and they'll all come down and form a watch.
Yeah. And then you get a monkey to put it together.
What's the chances of that happening?
Probably
it's never going to happen, is it?
Well, no, it's not.
But that's what they're saying evolution is. That's what they're saying evolution is. That everything came about by this big bang combination. Rob,
here's the thing. You've actually got to throw nothing in the air that comes down to make a watch.
Yeah.
You don't even start off with the cotton hands and the winder and the strap and the lens. You start off with nothing. You throw nothing in the air and it comes down as a watch. No, it doesn't, does it? I tried it. Watch. Hold it. We're doing an experiment, look. I've got nothing here. Ready? No, don't worry. All right, scientists. That is proper science. That.
But what I was saying about throwing the watch pieces into the air, referring to the Big Bang, the explosion which blew everything out, and it all came to form, eventually form something. Yeah. It's the same principle.
Well, it's
Rich,
the same.
I'm going to have to talk tonight now, so I've got to go.
Oh, okay.
Thank you so much to all those people that have joined us tonight with your comments. It's been fantastic having you with us. Hopefully we'll do another live stream soon. I can't say when.
Rob?
Yeah.
Can you bear with me for about a minute while I try and find this video, and I'll sling a link to it of this what's his name? This David Mitchell guy.
Yeah.
With his proof that the Earth is. Just bear with me. Just talk for mate.
Yeah, you look for what you're looking for, Richard. That's not a problem. I can hang on a couple of minutes.
I'm trying to find
not a problem.
I'm having to go back through my. I'm going back through my history.
I thought you'd frozen up there for a minute.
No, I'm still here. But I just want because I'd like people to go over there and put you know at least put your tuppeny pennies worth in. I'm trying to find it. What was it? I can't remember the name. It shouldn't. Blah 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 blah. Oh I got it. Right. Oh God. Oh my God. Oh my Lord. Right, I've got it. It's called David Mitchell. Just bear with me, please. Oh, David Mitchell's hilarious rant on the Flat Earth Society. Okay. Now I'm bringing it up on my on another tab. If I'm permitted, Rob, it's a 2 minute 26 second little video. Do you mind if I play it?
Yeah, you carry on, my friend. Go on.
So I'll share my screen in a minute. Right, I'll share the screen here. Yeah, and then I'm going to play this.
Yeah.
Okay? That's David Mitchell there. You know him?
Right.
Come on. I'm not sure how well that's to play, but
do you need to click on the play arrow?
Yeah, I'm just waiting for it to load, mate. I've got you know, right. So the title of this is, I'll copy that and I'll bang it in the chat. Copy. David Mitchell's hilarious rant on the Flat Earth Society. Okay, and oh look, 1.6 thousand thumbs down.
Oh.
Now watch this. I'm not sure how well it's going to play.
Give it a try.
Can you hear that?
No. It's like staggered. Yeah, I can't hear it. Can you put a link to it, Richard? Can you put a link to it so that everybody wants to look at it?
Yeah. I'll keep it going in the background and I'll tell you what he's saying.
Okay.
You can't. Right, if I change this.
Truth, you know, it is out there, but it may never again be discerned. But also, would you seem to be going backwards? Like you talk in the book about how we now have to listen to people saying the Earth is flat. Yeah, yes, that's one of the pieces in there is about the new Flat Earth International Conference. It isn't a conference from the 14th century. This is a conference that started, I think, in 2017. And it is a growing thing. And that's because people are so contrarian, people are so willing to believe unsubstantiated things that have websites, that they are now going back on the conclusion we have all rightly drawn about the shape of the planet we live on. And that people are sort of going, and by people I mean idiots, saying, I'm a questioning person, so why am I going to go along with this idea that the world is round? Well, I'll tell you why, because people went up in a rocket, looked out of the window and took a bloody photo.
Hey, I can see why that got so many thumbs down. I can see exactly why people gave that a thumbs down. That came through nice and clear, Rich. We got that.
Well, the audio from my mic to whatever it is, like the inbuilt thing. But that's a bit.
Yeah, I can see why so many people now put the thumbs down on it.
Yeah. And my comment, I'll leave a link because I'd love people to go over there and you know, I made quite a few comments here. We accept the reality of the world with which we're presented. It's as simple as that. Christoph, the Truman Show. Okay.
Yeah.
And you know, I got this. Travel some more, and you'll find out that the Earth is a globe. Well, the only you know. And this was my first comment. It got 1 like. I liked it myself, but I got 11 replies under this.
Right.
If all people got a bit upset about this, if all else fails, send in David Mitchell, the comedian. If he believes the Earth is a globe based on NASA pictures, he really isn't as clever as he or other people think he is. Mocking is a childish way to deflect from addressing facts. There are no real pictures of Earth from space. Everything is either composite imagery or CGI, as emitted by NASA itself, oddly enough. Why didn't he address boats over the horizon, boats not over the horizon? Plenty of YT video footage of that for him to troll through. Follow channels, Geronism and Execrate 200. I'll be back. And you know, but I'd like people to go over there and just have a bit of fun with these people, because most of them, sorry kid, I don't, you know, I keep my answer. Some people write, fuck me, they write like volumes.
Yeah.
Volumes and volumes in defense of the globe.
Yeah.
But you know, it's things like, I mean, he's well known for ranting a bit. This wasn't a Michellian rant, my friends, by his standards. This was just a pleasant chit chat. But yeah, I would urge people to just go over there, look at it. It's only a 2-minute video.
Yeah.
I don't think I can actually put the link in our chat, but I can put if I tap it, if I copy in the name of that, David Mitchell's hilarious rant on the Flat Earth Society, the Graham Norton show. You know, but that was a sort of thing, how they just get to, in every aspect they've got in comedy now. They've got a comedian, but does he believe it or not? I don't know. Or is he just, you know, is he part of that system that is told, right, you promote that? You know, he either believes it or he doesn't.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'll leave it at that, Rob. But okay.
I'm gonna have to go, Rich. So
God bless you, my friend.
thanks for that. Thanks for tonight.
My pleasure, mate.
As always, it's been a pleasure joining you.
Yeah.
Or you joining me, whichever way you want to look at it.
Do that again.
And hopefully everyone will be joining us again very soon in the near future.
I hope so, yeah. But, you know, don't trust anything I say or David Mitchell says, or even, well, I don't know. I can't. Rob. I mean, you're quite old, Rob. You've learned, haven't you? You lived a life.
Well, I'm nearly as wise as you, nearly.
Almost, yeah. I mean, and age isn't any indication of what wisdom or maturity. Age is just a number.
But the Bible does say grey hair is a sign of wisdom, and your beard reflects that very prominently.
Thank you, mate. It's white, mine. All right, my friend. Everybody in the chat, I love you all. Mo End Times, wall-to-wall deception, things I never knew. Night Rob, yeah. It's you know, it's a system, and there you've got your entertainment system. You've got you know, the sodomists and the mockers, and then you've got the Clintons. Well, anyway, praise the Lord, seek evidence.
Yeah,
right,
seek evidence. That's the main thing. Seek evidence.
Sandra, Moen, Chuck, but go over and just watch that little video and get involved in having a laugh at these people. Paul, we'll get you modded up when Rob can work out how to use technology.
Yeah, on the tablet, I don't know if I can do it. I really don't know if I can do it because I've clicked on everything. I can't. Maybe I'll click on them more.
Well, you can. What you can actually do is you can go into your settings. You can customize. Go into settings. Set him as a mod through there, like through there. We'll sort it out some way.
Yeah, we'll sort it. I've got to go, Rich. Anyway,
go on.
Thanks again. Good night, everybody.
Bye.
Thank you for joining us.
Bye,
and we'll see you soon. Have a nice day.
God bless
Love
everybody.
you.
All right.
Praise the Lord.
Oh yeah. All right, my friends. End it then, Rob.
I've just done that now.